Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? It is absolutely incredible to be with you guys. We are recording this 8:45 a.m. Pacific time, Saturday morning. I'm going to be refreshing the Twitter sphere and all that fun stuff, trying to figure out if we get any new news. But it's time. We waited as long as possible. It is time to do scouting reports, previews, predictions, bets, matchups, interesting connections, all those things, which I'm so excited about. This is episode 993. We're close to 1,000 mark, which is really, really cool. And I just want to say thank you. All the hashtag CCs, everybody coming out swinging. I love it. Big Papa, can't wait to hang out tomorrow. Really appreciate you guys. Y'all are the lifeblood, everything about this show, the fact that I get to do this show. I just want to say thank you. Bro, Montana, he says, what are you going to be for Halloween? The wife picks my Halloween costumes every year. She's a big theme person. We're doing Grease, and the dog is doing one of the Pink Ladies, I think is what they're called. But yeah, I'm John Travolta. She's Olivia Newton-John. That's what we're doing. We're hosting a huge, we always do the tailgates. We're doing a lawn tailgate for the community with TVs and games and prizes and drinks and all that stuff. So excited about Halloween. One of my favorite days of the year. But what's even better than Halloween? It's the Bengals, baby. I mean, we got this game. It's a get-right game. Last week was a get-right game too, though. Let's be very, very honest. The 49ers, they're 5-2. They're in first place. But you're coming off back-to-back losses to subpar teams on the road. Now you're back home. Home is where things get right. Now, Burrow, Chase, far better than Kirk Cousins and Addison. And I don't even think it's close. And they're coming off a bye week. You can spin this however you want to, but it doesn't matter. The 49ers are the superior team, and they're the ones that have to take care of business. Now, we spend all our time getting to know the 49ers and the ins and outs, and every press conference we got clips of, which we're going to have a lot for this. Every game. We watch every single play at least 4 times on every breakdown, and that's special teams deal. Like, we know everything about the Niners. So this is an episode to get to know the enemy. Shout out to Rage Against the Machine. Know your enemy. They're 3-3. They're an average team. Now, you have to always put asterisks around this. The Bengals start slow. That's who they are. We always talk about the Niners starting slow. Bengals are worse than us at that. But they, too, have been in, 3 out of 4 AFC championship games, if I'm not mistaken. So, these guys, they're some ballers. But this year has not gone according to plan. 31st in points scored, not good. 12th in points allowed, not good. And if you look at the teams that they lost to and they beat, we'll go through their schedule quick. Lost on the road to the Browns by 21 points. Browns blew them out. Lost to the Ravens 27-24 at home, close game. Beat the Rams 19-16 at home, close game. Got blown out on the road to the Titans 27-3, lost by 24 points to the Titans, which I think is a bottom 4 team in the NFL. Beat the Cardinals on the road 34-20 and beat the Seahawks 17-14. They're undefeated against the NFC West. They beat all 3 teams, but so have the 49ers. We've only played 2 so far, but both the Bengals and the Niners undefeated against the NFC West. So whenever I look at their schedule, there's 2 things. They had 2 blowout losses to the Browns and to the Titans. What do those 2 games have in common? One, they're both on the road. But I think more importantly than that, 2 of the NFL's most physical teams and sound defenses. I think the 49ers can and do check a lot of those boxes. And I know somebody's listening to this going, sound defense? You got to be kidding me. I do think that we run a sound defense. Did we have some hiccups? Yes, we did. But I know we're better than the Titans defense. The Browns, yeah, they put it on us. There's no doubt about that defensively. Still should have won that game, though. And so when we look at, again, on the road, check. Physical team, check. Sound defense, check. Not saying we're going to blow them out, but if you're trying to find something, in common with those losses, that's there. Now, you look at the road win against the Cardinals, they beat them by 14, kind of makes sense. Not the best defense. They're still figuring things out. The talent isn't there. That's their only road win. Now, can the Bengals win this game? Oh my gosh, yes. In the NFL, anybody can win a game in the NFL. It will humble you. And yeah, right here, we're going to talk about this, Big Sully. Joe Burrow looking healthy. He's coming back after a bye. Our defense has to be better. Rush 4, Wilkes. We blitzed 9 times. I know that everybody's just like, quit blitzing. We blitzed 9 times. 9. That's it. Blitz is bringing more than 4. We did it 9 times in the game. That's it. Now, the timing, I think that's key. And I was going to play this clip later, but Sally, you freaking put it up. Here's Wilkes talking about when to blitz, and context is so damn important.
I don't, you go back to Cleveland, and right before the half, we got a sack, caused fumble. They ruled it, incomplete. Bosa got, a sack there. So I think it's all timing, what I'm saying, in the situations. Some get picked up, yes, but I think you have to be on point at times when you are bringing pressure, because you don't want to get hurt with it. So we try to mix it up a little bit for us, man zone and zone pressure. So.
And so, we all want to get so mad at the call, and rightfully so. It was a bad call. Almost resulted in an interception, but still, that doesn't dismiss it. But nobody's mad at Wilkes for blitzing against the Browns before the half. Almost caused a fumble. It should have been a fumble. Should have been backwards pass fumble, our ball, and would result. But I understand they're different. It's just you got to be consistent with your critiques. If you don't like any of the blitzes, you got to dislike all the blitzes, not just whenever it goes wrong. And so we'll see. And, you've got Bosa out there saying, oh, we got to blitz 4-man pressure. Dude, I saw Bosa go 1-on-1 against a backup tight end and get put on the ground in pass protection. And I love Bosa, and I think he still has been incredible. But that blitz 4 stuff, it ain't working. I don't know what the answer is. I want to stop stunting so much. But I walked away. I record every single snap that I watch and break it down. I thought that was Bosa's worst pass rushing game of his entire career. And in the second half, the Vikings said, we don't need to double team Bosa anymore. And they stopped. In pass protection, they stopped double teaming Bosa, especially in the fourth quarter. And he didn't do anything. In the run game, he did well. But, I think a lot of it, 9 blitzes over the course of 45 pass attempts. I don't have a problem with that. Those numbers are fine. The timing, that's where I have an issue, and that's what he just talked about as well. One more time right here. Thank you, Big Joe. Drake Jackson now has to earn snaps. He needs extra being the doghouse motivation. Let Gregory take some more. Jackson had 15 plays. He got put on the ground, I think 4 times. I went back and counted of 15 plays. I would not be upset if he was a healthy scratch moving forward personally. But I want him to take those steps up. I just don't know if more play time right now is beneficial to him long-term when they're all really, really not good. They're just all not good. Even on special teams, he was getting put on the ground, which was really, really weird. Those don't even count into his 15 snaps, but I love Drake Jackson. He's still young. He's still got a high upside. He just needs some more time. Right here, Josh, what's up, brother? He says, any thought on changing up the defensive front? Maybe Armstead outside on base downs, JK in for him, then Armstead inside on pass rushing downs. If you want to go to some more 5-man fronts, which they flirted with twice, last game, I don't mind that. I trade for an end. Another one. Randy Gregory's great. I want his snaps to increase, not Cleveland Farrell's, not Drake Jackson's. Randy Gregory needs to be on the field a lot more, but that's not enough. Even if Randy Gregory plays an elite, 25, 45 snaps, you got to have somebody else. And Cleveland Farrell's good against the run, but that's it. So I don't want Armstead outside. We've done that. I don't like it. Maybe against, non-mobile quarterbacks, maybe. Yeah, that's rough, man. That's a hard one. And so I'm going to stay away from that one. I don't want to do it yet, and especially don't want to do it on a short week. Ed says, John, every blitz they send Huff on watch the play has never worked. Huff got the one play that we did get pressure was when Huff was right in his face, and Kirk Cousins made a perfect pass. We are telegraphing our blitzes. I do agree with you there, Ed, 100%. We are showing what we're doing coverage-wise. That's my biggest Wilks complaint. But, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Right here, Chris, thank you for the super chat. How much of our defense woes is on Kyle for Wilks saying he's still learning and not knowing the system 8 weeks in? It takes time. People wanted Robert Saleh fired whenever he first started halfway through the season. And anybody that's saying Wilks should be fired has not watched the tape. Well, our players are in position. Now, yeah, there's going to be some busted plays, but the defense gave them, and any adjustment you wanted, it worked. You look at the fourth quarter, we gave them 0 points. 0. No points. None. You gave the ball back to the offense 4 times in the fourth quarter, and they mustered up a field goal. And that was it. Like, hey, so whatever your complaints are for Wilks, you give up 19 points and 22 points in back-to-back road games and lose both? That ain't on the defense. I don't care who you are. The context matters. We're not giving up a lot of points. You can't score 22 points or 19 points on the road. That's on the offense and special teams. Missed field goals matter. Interceptions matter. All those things matter. Could the defense be better? Sure. We're still a top 3 unit. It's weird how everybody went after him. I guess because he's the one new thing. But did you want him fired after the first 5 weeks when we had the number 1 defense? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. No, Wilks is not going anywhere. No matter how upset you are, Kyle is, anybody is. We just got to take a breath. There we go. Right here, Josh. Can we just breathe a little bit? Yeah, there we go. We are right. Now, and again, the 49ers are 5-2. We're 5-2 in first place. We have the second fewest points in the NFL allowed. That's it. That's it. We're allowing 15.6 points a game. Second best in the NFL. Second in points scored. Second best defense. We're right where we want to be. We beat the Steelers, blew them out. Rams, that was closer than the score indicated. That stupid fake field goal. Blew out the Giants, blew out the Cardinals, blew out the Cowboys. And you are talking about fired at DC? Now you lose to the Browns on the road, but you held them to under 20 points. It wasn't a great game, but you held them under 20 points. The 2 missed field goals. Come on, man. Lost to the Vikings on the road by 5 points. They scored 22. But one thing that has been consistent across not 1, but 2 defensive coordinators, we have not lost a home game in over a calendar year. Listen to Kyle talk about it.
No, I'd like to say there was some special speech that I said never again on our home field, so that's only because of that is why it's been a year. But no, it's never really like that. You just, when you lose, you try to when you win too, but especially when you lose, you got to keep focusing. You got to keep, everyone goes through it at times in the year, and usually teams kind of fall behind and turn into the majority of the teams, or you get better and you hunker down and you get better at football, and usually that leads to wins. And I think that's what we've gone through here in these last couple of years, and especially up to that Chiefs game. That was a down spot, but no, it's 1 week at a time, and I think we played pretty good football for a while.
We played great football. The 49ers have every single goal that they want right at their hands and their fingertips currently. You're fine. And you got a bye week upcoming. Now, you dropped 3 in a row. Now you're talking about needing some help. Everything might not be at your control, those type of things like that. And if we look at, both these teams, let's step back through PFF ranking the different units. The Bengals, overall, 27th out of 32 teams. Offense, 23rd. Defense, 27th. Special teams, 6th. That is their advantage to this game, and that is my largest concern. You look at the Bengals field goal kicker, Evan McPherson, hasn't missed any field goal under 50 yards. He's 3 of 5 on 50-plus yard field goals. He's missed 2, but he doesn't miss under 50. He is consistent. Now you look at our guy, only 6 kickers have missed more kicks than Jake Moody. That's it. And one of them just got cut. So now it's him and 5 other ones. And Jake Moody, started off 9 for 9, missed 0 extra points. Incredible. But the problem with it is, as soon as he had his first pressure kick, That's when the misses started. You come out to Vikings, prime time, down, loud atmosphere, missed it again. Now, I know he's playing a lot of college games. I understand that, all that. But we got a huge red flag there. The biggest mismatch for the 49ers versus this team, it's their field goal kicker. It is their field goal kicker. So if this is a close game, it's going to be tough. Now, I believe in Jake Moody. No way you cut Jake Moody. No way you move on from Jake Moody. I don't ever want to hear Robbie Gould's name mentioned outside of, I loved it whenever he talked trash in the playoffs. Yeah, that was cool. Robbie Gould ain't coming back, and I don't want him back. Don't want him. He didn't want to be here twice. We forced his hand twice. Nah, goodbye. Sayonara. Enjoy your time. Why is he on no other team? But the battle of field goals, I don't like that. I'm sorry. And we'll have to see. I understand he's got all the talent in the world, and I believe in him long term. Dude's got to show up and show that he can handle pressure situations. That's about all I'm looking for. Now, battle of the punters, we got them by a mile. Mitch Wisnowski's been incredible. Like he's up for punter of the year, the way he's going. He's got 1 touchback and 12 punts down inside the 20. Bengals punter Brad Robbins, 2 touchbacks, 6 inside the 20. Our punter is literally twice as good as him. And not to mention, if you watch our special teams footage, I'm going to nominate Mitch Wisnowski to the Hall of Fame because I think he's the greatest holder of all time in the NFL history. Whatever. You can file that one away. Now, if we look at the 49ers in those same categories rated by Pro Football Focus, which, we're going to go through analytics, stats, rankings, all that stuff, just trying to provide the largest possible snapshot as to this game and advantages and all that stuff. Out of 32 teams, overall, the 49ers is the second highest ranked team. Offensively, third. Defense, first. Special teams, 24th. Again, defense first. Did you hear that? Defense first. We got to put all games into perspective, not one bad play call right before the half. And yeah, it was a huge play call, not dismissing it, but that doesn't take precedence over the other 500 plus snaps that the Niners defense has had. Anyway, I digress. I know we keep talking about that, and I don't want to spend time on all those things. So let's get to know their coaching staff. Zach Taylor. High school Norman, not cool. I am repping my UT stuff today. Go Horns. Not a fan of anything to do with Norman, except for George Kittle, who spent 1 year his freshman year there. Outside of that, garbage. College, went to Wake Forest. Then he went to Butler Community College, then transferred to Nebraska, went undrafted, played for the Bucks in 2007, then went to Winnipeg Blue Bombers. As a coach, Texas A&M, don't like that. This dude's got a lot of strikes for me. I'm just going to be honest. He's a good dude, actually. Got his first spot as assistant quarterback coach for the Dolphins in 2012. Then he got promoted to Dolphins quarterback coach, then Dolphins offensive coordinator. You like to see people that get promoted from within. That tells you a lot. Then he went to University of Cincinnati, then to the Rams, back-to-back weeks against McVay disciple head coaches. I mean, back-to-back weeks. The Vikings were the same way. Now we're playing the Bengals. And so they're McVay disciples that haven't coached with Shanahan. And, he was with the Rams as the wide receiver coach, then quarterbacks coach. Then he got brought here to the Bengals, and he's been there for 3 years now as the head coach. His regular season record, 31-39-1. Not great. Postseason 5-2. When it's time to show up, Zach Taylor gets his team ready in the playoffs, and they play the best. They got a winning record versus Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. That says a lot. Now, Kyle was asked about Zach Taylor and how he knows him and what their relationship's like.
I've gotten to know him just at the owners' meetings and stuff like that over the last few years. I've never worked with him and stuff. And I was real close with his father-in-law, Mike Sherman, who was a coordinator when I was the quarterback coach in Houston. So connected through him, but getting to know him over the years as a head coach at the owners' meetings and stuff. And I think I think we're always when first-year coaches struggle with their team and everything, it's really easy for me to say, hey, don't worry, at least you're not, start out 0-9. So I can always give that support to people, and my wife can to their wives and things like that. But he's done a hell of a job from where they've come and where they are now. And They're one of the better teams in this league over these last few years.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot deny the success. They got so close to winning it. The refs totally gave one of the worst calls in, I think, past 10 years in Super Bowl history, that fake pass interference call, but refs are going to ref. So, yeah, you got a McVay guy. Their offensive coordinator, Brian Callahan, he went to De La Salle right here locally, which, it was pretty cool. My son played De La Salle a week ago. El Cerrito did. It was fun to go out there and see the stadium. And I was just like, I was like, all right, this is the big powerhouse, the house that Marshawn Lynch built and, all the wins. I went out there. I was a little disappointed. Not going to lie. Texas football, just different. And I understand that. But shout out to De La Salle. They won. They shut us out 17-0. But anyway, Callahan, he went to De La Salle, then UCLA. He's a California guy. Spent most of his time with the Broncos. Coaching assistant, 2010 Broncos, quality control coach, then offensive assistant, went to the Lions as a quarterback coach, Raiders, then Bengals as the OC. But my favorite coach on this staff, and I think most would agree with me, Lou Anarumo, their defensive coordinator. And this dude, yeah, he played at Wagner College, which respect. And then after that, he was the Wagner College running backs coach. Then Syracuse as a GA. Then the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy as the DB coach in D.C. Then Harvard. Then Marshall. This dude worked his way up. He didn't know anybody. This is starting at the bottom. This is working your way up. Went to Marshall, then Purdue, then Miami. That's where the connection with Callahan took place, right? Interim DC at Miami, then the Giants, and now the Bengals. And this dude, I should have got a head coach last year. I really believe he should have been hired. Lou Anarumo is one of my favorite. I don't know anything about him personally. I don't know anything about him outside of, his career track. But when I watch the Bengals play defense, I'm just like, yeah. yeah. Like, this dude has fun doing what he does, and it shows on the field. Again, I don't know anything really about him besides his career path, but when I watch his defense, I get excited. I'm like, okay. I don't feel the same way about Brian Callahan or Zach Taylor too much, but I'm a big Lou Anarumo fan. Now, injuries are big, obviously, this game. And Brock Purdy, I came out as soon as they announced, I said, Brock Purdy ain't playing. Seems like I was wrong, which I don't mind being wrong, and I'm glad I'm wrong. I'm wrong all the time. I think our track record has been pretty good, though. It's seeming like Brock Purdy had a full practice yesterday, Friday. They're supposed to announce today if he clears the last step, he will be playing, and he should play. And for people who are like, no, just let him rest, Kyle Shanahan don't do that. Players don't do that. I understand the mindset of let's just protect our asset. We're going to put him on the shelf for 2 weeks just in case. That's not the way the NFL works. That's not the way the NFL is going to work. And it sure as hell is not the way that Kyle Shanahan will ever work. That's not going to happen. If he is cleared, dude is playing, period. That's all there is to it. I do think if I'm a betting man and I went and put all of my bets in this week, and those are posted on the 49ersrush.com. Those are posted on our Patreon channel, all those things. I'm telling you right now, I think he's playing. I'm betting as if he is playing. Debo is out. Trent's a little bit more to the negative. Here is Kyle Shanahan, quick clip, talking about what it would take for Trent to play and if he is going to play.
He did the beginning part, but nothing against each other.
How is he progressing back?
Better than last week, but still not sure. It's got to improve here in the next 48 hours. He can go up to kickoff, though.
Yeah, if Trent can go, Trent goes. But Jalen Moore played great last week. I was really, really impressed about Jalen Moore. He played awesome. I really, really did like that. Now, we'll see. I don't expect Trent to play. I do expect Purdy to play. I really, really do. When we get to our predictions, I'll dive a little bit more into those two things. DFF is a full go, so that helps with special teams and backups and all that kind of stuff. The Bengals. Their backup running back, Chase Brown, I say backup running back. He hasn't been playing very much. He pulled his hamstring in practice, so he's out. Devin Harper, their linebacker, he's got a hamstring issue, but he's practicing, so expect him out there. Akeem Davis Gaither did not practice on Thursday. His knee, he's got a knee issue, so I doubt. I don't know. I'm doubting that he's going to play, but coming off a bye, yeah, they declared him out. Him and Chase Brown are out. So then the other guys, Orlando Brown Jr., their, tackle that they paid a lot of money for, he's full go groin. And then Josh Tupu, their defensive tackle, he's good to go toe. Higgins, fully off the report. He's got to be playing. So right here, does Purdy trending towards playing want to make you buy your ticket now, or would you still wait? I'm still going to wait. But I always say this, Big Papa, go to TickPick. And let me tell this story, because I was walking to the game. I always wait to buy my tickets as a walk to the game. And I was with my main man, Sean. We're walking to the thing. He's buying his ticket. We're walking to the stadium, buying our ticket. Kickoff's happening in about 30 minutes. I buy my ticket on TickPick. He buys his ticket on another app. His ticket never came through. We're in front of security, walk through. His ticket's still not coming. He's hit refresh. I go on TickPick, buy him another ticket. I don't want him to miss kickoff. And then we walked in. He ended up having to get refunded. Took a week and a half. I'm just telling you guys, TickPick does a damn good job. And I'm just throwing that out there. So you figure out a price that you like. If you see that available, buy it. I'm going to wait. One, just because I'm crazy. I like to gamble a little bit, man. I got some issues. That's just the way it is. Now, matchup history. The 49ers have dominated this. Absolutely crushed this matchup. They lead 13-4. It's not even like half. Including, and this is my favorite part this week, I ain't going to lie. I got a little giddy. I went total fanboy when I found this out. Obviously, we've beaten the Bengals in the Super Bowl not once, but twice. The 49ers have decided, and this has been in the works for a long time, I'm sure, they will be honoring both championship teams this week. So Super Bowl 16 winners and 23 winners. There's going to be over 100 alumni from those two Super Bowl teams there this weekend. You know what's up? Eddie DeBartolo is going to be in the house. Are you freaking kidding me? I get to watch a football game with the 49ers, and I get to see these legends. Man, I'm so pumped about that. There are going to be no bathroom breaks. There are going to be no bathroom breaks. So I really hope if you were on the fence about coming out to this game, man, you got to come out. You got to. And you got to come party with us. We're over in the blue lot, all the way up against the Democracy Way, kind of in that back corner. That way we can have all the space we need. We're going to have an absolute blast. It's going to be incredible. Just go to 49ersrushroadtrip.com. We've got this one catered. We've got TVs with Red Zone on so we can watch the early games. We got music pumping, unlimited drinks. Kids are free always. My son's coming out, the 15-year-old. We're going to be having a great time. And if you've never been to one of our home tailgates, man, here you go. Going to 49ers games is awesome, but what's even better than that is going to 49ers games with the faithful, joining the community, and we got you covered. The 49ers Rush Road Trip is going into its 4th year of bringing the faithful together, night before parties, tailgates the day of. We got you covered. Go get your tickets at 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Go see the full list of all 12 games, both home and away, that we will be working on. And remember, every single event we do is family friendly. That's what's up. And again, if you can't make this one, you want to go out to Jacksonville after the bye week. Oh, by the way, just nobody but Frank Gore coming to party with us. So yeah, you want to party with us, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. We've got tickets to buy his autographs, and he's signing everything. So you can go buy those on the website now. Those prices are going to go up next week. Right now, it's the lowest we're allowed to contractually put those out there. So 49ersrushroadtrip.com. You got to buy, it's $20 to get in. And then you've got to buy individually however many autographs you want. So you want to bring your jersey out, picture out, hat out, whatever. We got you covered. You just go buy those now. We only have a limited number of spaces, and we're expecting a pretty big party. So I would strongly recommend not to wait because it's the lowest those are going to be. Now, back to the 49ers versus the Bengals. We played not too long ago, December 2021. And the 49ers won one of the best games of the year, 26-23 in overtime. And there's some carryover, but things are a little bit weird. It was a Jimmy G game, obviously, and he had a good game. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 5 sacks, but it was almost exactly what Joe Burrow did. 2 touchdowns, no interception, 5 sacks. Burrow had an extra 50 yards passing. Jeff Wilson was our number 1 running back, 13 carries, 56 yards. Debo had 8 carries, 37 yards, and a touchdown. They had Mixon, 18 carries, 58 yards. And so, you look at their receiving game, Kittle, 13 catches, 151 yards. Man, I miss those. I think that's whenever he almost broke the record. Ayuk, 6 catches, a touchdown, 60 yards. And then Jamar Chase, 5 catches, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns. T. Higgins, 5 catches, 114 yards. Nick Bosa balled out, 2 sacks, 2 quarterback hits, 2 tackle for losses. Man, I miss those games. I miss those games from Kittle and from Bosa. It's been a while. I know Kittle had the 3 touchdown game, but he had 3 catches, right? It's been a while since those two have kind of dominated the way that we're used to them. Maybe this week that changes. And both teams scored in overtime. Thank you, Josh. That dude is always on point. All right, let's do this. It's time, ladies and gents. Let's just do a deep dive into the Bengals defense. What they have done, what they do, tendencies, all that fun stuff. Now, let's go through their rankings. All these are out of 32 teams, okay? 17th in points, 27th in yards, 9th in turnovers, 22 in fumbles recovered, 25th in first downs, 17th. They're not good at a lot of things, but the one area they are good in, interceptions. They have 8. That's Lou Anarumo. They trick quarterbacks. That's what they do. 29th in rushing yards allowed. That, man, please, for the love of all that is holy, run the damn ball, Shanahan. I don't care if they do a 5 or 6 man front. Keep running the ball. Jordan Mason is the answer. Ugh. Don't take CMC out. Put CMC in the Debo role. Put Jordan Mason in the CMC role. Not all the time. Just 10 plays. Come on, man. Run the damn ball. 17th in rushing touchdowns allowed, 30th in yards per rush. They average 5.0 yards per rush a game. You do not need to be throw happy against this team. Run the ball. 23rd and third downs, 3rd and 4th downs. They've only allowed 2 out of 7 4th down conversions, and 9th in the red zone. So interceptions they're good at. 4th downs they're good at. Red zone they're good at. How do you counteract all of those things? Run the ball. I don't care if it's 3rd and 6. You could run the ball on 3rd and 6. I have no problem with that whatsoever. None. Run the freaking ball. Right here, Ed. Appreciate you, man. He says CFC will have a phenomenal game against the Bengals. It's set up for them. It really is. And I am betting that way. There's no doubt about it. Now, they do have some studs. Trey Hendrickson's, incredible. 89.1 PFF grade. He's 10th out of all the defensive ends. Hubbard, who played opposite Bosa for a short time at Ohio State, 67.7. They do not rotate defensive ends. They are not like us. To put this into perspective, Hubbard and Hendrickson have 587 snaps between them. Cam Sample, who is 3rd, has 131. Then their first-round rookie, Miles Murphy, has 66. They don't rotate. They don't. And Hill, their safety's decent, but there's some bad players on this defense. It's not a talented squad as far as the roster is concerned. It's really not. Scott, their safety, this was the Scott that everybody wanted. You remember that in the 3rd round? Scott's sitting there available at the safety. He's ranked 84th out of 85 safeties in the NFL. I think we did okay. Hilton, their slot / nickel back / safety, he's rated 78th. 10 missed tackles, team high. He doesn't tackle well. Wilson, their linebacker, 72 out of 83. And, if you just look at their scheme and coverage, crazy man heavy. This is one of the things that's been crazy to me all season long. The schedule is somewhat random, right? We play the most man heavy teams. We have through 8 weeks, this is week 8, played 5 of the top 6 man heavy teams. Number 1 is the Cowboys, already played them. Number 3, Giants, already played them. Browns, 4th, already played them. Bengals are 5th. That's who we're playing this week. And the Steelers are 6th. And so just a lot of man. It's interesting, which usually means Brandon Ayuk, but with what happened last week with Minnesota in the second half, where they just put the safety over on his side the whole time, and Kyle and Purdy said, nope, can't throw it to him if he's being double covered. We're going to see a lot of that this week. There's no doubt. They do a lot of cover one man with a little bit of cover three zone, but it's a lot of man coverage. It's a lot of man coverage. Now, 34.9% man coverage. So, like, understand, still, it's well over 60% zone. But in today's NFL, that's fifth most in the NFL. A lot of teams are just going straight zone. We're most zone-heavy team that exists. We run man a couple times, and everybody loses their damn mind. Anyway, y'all could not live with Lou Anarumo. There's no doubt. Y'all would not make it. If you are concerned about Steve Wilkes, good Lord. That's like going from, shots of Fireball to shots of Everclear. They live dangerously over there, and hopefully the Niners can take advantage of that. Now, blitzes, not a blitz-heavy team. Seattle, they blitz 11 times. Arizona, 12. Tennessee, 11. Rams, 17. Baltimore, 15. We blitzed 9 times last time. That's fewer than any game they have all year, and they're not a blitz-heavy team. Perspective matters. Like, you got to look at it. Now, the way you blitz and the timing of the blitz, all those things, I understand. It's a little bit different. So, let's get to the Bengals offense. And this is where it gets quite interesting. And to kind of set the stage here, let's go back to Wilkes and listen to him talk about what the Bengals do offensively. Obviously, you got to talk about their big three. That's what everything goes through. And Wilkes kind of talks about that.
Moving forward, I would say we have definitely a challenge ahead of us. Joe Burrow, in my opinion, is one of the best quarterbacks in this league. He has a dynamic trio at the receiver position, Boyd, Higgins, and what I think one of the best in the league, Chase. Mixon is still running the ball at a high level, and I think they do a great job up front in the offensive line for his run game, as well as trying to give him time in the pocket for his protection. So with that, I'll take your question.
There we go. And again, I just saw any word on Brock today. No, that's not going to come later. But Mayoko did just put out Brock will receive clearance later today and start tomorrow. Oh, there we go. Oh, he says if all goes as expected. Come on, man. You buried that one a little bit, buddy. But so we'll see. I expect him to play. I put it all my bets in. And if you are betting with us and you want to bet this game, you better run over there and get your bets in now. I put out on our betting site, the 49ersrush.com, and our Patreon channel. If you are going to bet, last night was the best time to do so, because since then I got in at negative 3.5 points. By the time I posted, I refreshed, it was at negative 4 points. It's already up to negative 5 points. My assumption is it's going to lock, and then it's going to come back in at about negative 6, negative 6.5. So you're getting free points out there. If you are going to bet this game, you need to go do so now. That's just what you should do. And if you're like, I don't even know where to bet, where do I go? Right here, guys. When your money's on the line, choose a trusted sportsbook that gives you tools to win, like MyBookie. And MyBookie doesn't matter if your team's up or down. You can easily cash out or bet the game live to come out on the winning side. Use MyBookie for daily odds boost, same game parlays, I like teasers, and take advantage of the huge prize pool contest. Plus, MyBookie currently has a no strings attached cash bonus that lets you deposit, withdraw quick. Carries a one-time rollover. Can't find that anywhere else. Just use promo code 49ers, 49ERS, or scan the QR code on this video right next to my face here to claim your own cash deposit bonus now. That's promo code 49ers. So try my money bag. You basically roll the dice and it picks a team and gives you extraordinary odds on who's going to win the Super Bowl. Lots of fun options there. So bet anything, anytime, anywhere, and I do mean anywhere. Wherever you are, you can bet with MyBookie. Just make sure you use the promo code 49ERS, and let's go. Let's make some money together. And again, we put up, and if you're part of those sites, I tell you what to do early on, tell you how much, what to bet, all those different things. We're going to go through some of those bets later. And again, if you did bet when we did, you can now cash out before the game and get, a payout without risking anything, because we jumped in a full point under the spread. Now you're not going to get, you'll get everything that you bet plus just a little bit because they'll pay you based on the odds. And so that is an option that is there. I'm going to let mine ride, but we'll talk about that later. Now, the Bengals offense, as you know, Wilkes was talking about, you look at Burrow, Chase, Higgins, and it's like, ooh, that's scary stuff. But then you go through the ranks and it's like, ooh, that's not reflective of what they're doing. Again, this is out of 32 teams now. 28th in points scored, dead last in the NFL in total yards. Dead last. Second in turnovers. They don't turn the ball over much. 4 interceptions, 1 fumble. Both those are pretty impressive. Brock's got 3, right? And he's played a fewer game. 30th in first downs, not sustaining drives. 26th in pass yards, 16th in passing touchdowns. Even though they've been down, Burrow's throwing touchdowns to Chase. That's just what it is. 31st in pass yards per attempt. They get pass happy. I critique Shanahan for getting pass happy in the games, but they've been a part of some blowouts. And so when that happens, you got to throw the ball when you're down, 20 points in the fourth quarter. It's not good. 31st in rush attempts, you got to run the ball. 31st in rush yards, 28. They only have 1 rushing touchdown. That's it. The whole season. Now they played 6 games. I get that. We played 7, but still 1 rushing touchdown. That's a CMC half, baby. That's just what it is. 27th in rush yards per attempt, 3.5 yards per carry, 29th in third downs, 28th in fourth downs, 17th in red zone. You can't find it. They don't turn the ball over. That's it. That's what they got going for them. Now, you look at Jamar Chase. Dude's unbelievable. He is unbelievable. 86.7 PFF score. That's 7th best wide receiver, leads team in targets, receptions, and touchdowns. He is a madman. Higgins, he's been off. I'm going to be honest. He has not had his great year. He struggled with injuries, all that stuff. And the craziest thing, like what made him so special was contested catches. He's a big old boy. 2 of 11 on the year on contested catches with 3 drops. Coming off a bye week, finally healthy. Some rumors he might be traded. I don't think so. They're not a sell team. They're a buy team. And this game's going to determine a lot of that. You get blown out on this one, maybe not at 3-4. You win this one at 4-3. Yeah, they're not selling. Burrow hasn't been Burrow. Dealing with the calf strain. Now he's healthy. We got to see. But 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Not terrible, not good. 14 sacks is a lot. That's pretty typical. And we'll see. He's got a 79.8 passer rating, which is really, really low for him. And Williams, their right tackle, not great. Their offensive line has struggled. This is probably the biggest weakness. Tight end's been terrible. Smith Jr., who they expected to play well, he's 68th out of 69. Nice. Tight end's ranked by PFF. And Volston, North Dakota State, the Bison, 66th out of 78th guards in the NFL. Not good. Now, they love to throw it deep. Even in a down season, they want to throw it deep. But they've been bad at it. And this has been Burrow's strength. Amazing deep ball. They're 2 of 16 on balls that travel 20 or more air yards. 2 of 16. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I expect that to change this week. We put our corners in the worst possible situation. That's kind of our defensive scheme. Has been under D'Amico, has been under Saleh, is under this. We put our corners on the island and we said we're going to get pressure. We haven't got the pressure. And so that shows what happens whenever you get corners one-on-one with Higgins and Chase. We're going to give up some plays. I'm telling you right now. But that's accounted for because we're going to stop the run game and we're going to force them into 3rd and longs. You just got to get off the field in 3rd down. That's where the 49ers have really missed it, man. We see. We'll see what's up. And Ed, I agree with you here. He says, I believe they will be sluggish the first half coming off a bye. Yeah, on the road, we'll see. I'm with you. I really, really am. Now, here's what's crazy. Burrow is at his best versus the blitz. We only blitzed 9 times last game. I expect those numbers to be somewhat the same. I mean, we're one of the fewest blitzing teams in the NFL, but we have historically, the past 7 years, been one of the fewest blitzing teams in the NFL, and we're still way below average. But all 4 of Burrow's turnovers, interceptions, have been against 4-man pressure. All 4 of them. So he hasn't turned the ball over once versus the blitz. 9 sacks versus 4-man pressure, only 5 sacks versus the blitz. So yeah, you blitz some, but you got to get there with 4. And his college teammate, Nick Bosa, and friend, It's time, man. Bosa's been great versus the run, but that dude got to win some matchups. And last week, again, I said this already, was, in my opinion, his worst pass rushing effort I have ever seen, because he was not getting double teams late, and he did nothing. He did nothing. Great versus the run. We'll see. 17% play action is really low. A lot of that's being in trash time, so they don't do a lot of play pass. Most success comes from running to the offensive left side, and they're still not even good there. You look at the left, even though it's better, the right is awful. Off the right guard, 2.4 yards per carry, terrible. Off the right tackle, 3.2, not good. Off the right end, 1.7, abysmal. Oh, there's the word. They're not good, but most of their positive plays have gone, running on the offensive left. Offensive right, they just suck at every single A, B, C gap. They're just not good. You can tell I look at this from a defensive mind. It's just kind of what it is, but I don't use the 2-4-6 and 1-3-5 holes, but whatever. I started on defense. That's where I made my bread and butter. Now, my favorite matchups of this game, every single week, I try really, really hard to find blue chip on blue chip. This was rough. The offense, talk about the 49ers offense versus the Bengals defense. There's not one blue chip on blue chip player matchup. Now, if Trent plays, you got Hendrickson versus Trent. That's freaking money. Outside of that, there's not really a all-pro or really a lot of Pro Bowl players for the Bengals defense. That's just not really the way they built. They built on offense. They invested all their capital in offense. They paid Hendrickson to come in, but it's not a top-flight defense. You could say the same thing about Minnesota Vikings, though, and that didn't pan out. Defensively, when the 49ers are on defense, yeah. Chase and Higgins versus Charvarius Ward and Demo, yeah, they're better than those two. You look at the contracts that they're going to receive, they're better than those two. Like, Charvarius Ward's awesome, physical, plays tough, contested catches. What's Chase and Higgins' MO? They're the best at contested catches. Chase was, top 5 pick. Charvarius Ward was a undrafted free agent. Higgins was, early second, I think the first pick of the second round. Demo was, day 3 guy. Like, we're not supposed to, but they invested all of their capital in wide receivers and skill guys. We invested all of our capital in the D line. It's not cashing in right now. Orlando Brown versus Nick Bosa. Yeah, that's going to be cool. Bosa's got to be good. Dude's got to capitalize. He really does. And he hasn't, but man, I'm betting on Bosa every freaking time. My son, I just bought him a Bosa jersey, and I'm excited about there. Greenlaw, Ed says Greenlaw will be better this game. Man, Greenlaw, he had some negative plays last week, but he had a lot of positive plays too. The consistency that we've seen from Greenlaw's got to be there. And again, how do we start this show? The 2 blowout losses that the Bengals have gone through on the road versus physical teams, good defenses. That's what you got to do. Now, there's a lot of relationships between these 2 rosters and connections. Latu and Jordan Battle were together in Alabama. Cleveland Farrell, Ray T. Higgins, Austin Bryant, all at Clemson. Isaiah Oliver and Chidobe Awuzie at Colorado. They played next to each other, which in the secondary. Charlie Warner, Trey Hill at Georgia. TDP and Burrow and Chase at LSU. And shout out to Wayne Breeze. I didn't even bring this up. We got 6 Michigan guys, 3 on each side. Dax Hill, Brad Robbins, DJ Turner, Ambry Thomas, Jake Moody, Ronnie Bell, all Michigan guys. Ohio State right there next to him. Sam Hubbard, Nick Bosa, Burrow. They were together. Kevin Givens, Nick Scott, Penn State. Trenton Irwin, CMC at Stanford. And then USC. Talanoa, Drake Jackson, and Jay Tufeli. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. At USC. So there's a lot there. And so, you look at just kind of what these connections are. It's fun because it matters to the game. And it matters kind of to what they got going on. Now, right here, I saw a question. Somebody asked me right here. Oh, Josh, what's up, brother? He says, who are their DTs? BJ Hill and Sample, Cam Sample. Those are their 2 guys that kind of go inside, outside. And, Sample's kind of like how do you say this? He's kind of like their Armstead that can play inside, outside. They play them both, but neither one of them. Cam Sample's 56th. Hill is 82nd. They're not solid. They're linebackers, Jermaine Pratt and, Logan Wilson. The draft capital says they're good, but they haven't played well either. Secondary's not great. Like, the defense it's problematic, and that's not how they built their team. They want to outscore teams. And so we'll see if they can do that. Now, the spread, let me just refresh just to see. It was at -5 when we started the show. I think it's probably there until the official news comes out on Brock Purdy. -5. That's crazy because the Niners have struggled. There's no doubt about it. And after back-to-back losses, playing against a team, off a bye week, it doesn't matter. It's still at 5 points. That's going to get bigger. It's going to go up to 5.5 or 6 points. It's just what it's going to be. It's still at -5. Thank you, Josh. Now, my favorite bets of the week, Juwan Jennings. I don't know who made the lines over at my bookie. They still have Juwan Jennings in a backup role. Juwan Jennings took over the Deebo Samuel role. He was out there in every single 2 wide receiver set that was present. He led the team in targets. They've got Juwan Jennings at a 24.5 yard receiving yards. I bet the over big time. They've got Juwan Jennings at 2.5 receptions. I bet the over big time. If I'm Lou Anarumo, I'm stopping Brandon Ayuk. I'm giving 2 guys to Ayuk, just like the Vikings did. I'm going to force everybody else to beat me. So I'm going big on Juwan Jennings over on receptions and yards. And I think CMC, that's the thing. CMC's up for the all-time record. 16 consecutive games with a touchdown. He scores here 17. He ties Lenny Moore for the all-time record, breaks it next week. CMC clearing it. We're getting Brock is cleared. I'm not seeing anything posting that. So, VZ, I saw you post that. I'm refreshing my Twitter feed and not seeing anything. So I'm not saying I disagree with you, but if you don't mind sharing your source, just so we can attribute a name to that, I don't want to put that on the show. I do expect him to play. I said that before the show. You go with the information that is given. I've not seen that posted anywhere. I'm going to keep posting, kind of putting that up there. Now, I put on the show and I asked this question. The poll question was, will CMC tie the all-time record of 17 straight games with a touchdown this week? 95% of you, which I'm proud of y'all. You guys come through, and I freaking love it. Absolutely love it. And I do think that he will tie the record. Can't break it this week. He can break it after the bye week. But let's get into predictions. I want to hear what your predictions are. Whether it's, this player does this, so many tackles, somebody gets sacked, scores, whatever, we'll go through some of those. But as I lead into my predictions category or segment of the show, I'm going to let CMC kind of tee it off. You got all the tools. You got everything you need to win this game.
We just have to play well on game day. We practice hard. We got all the right guys. We just have to play well. And that's, I don't even want to speak for anyone else. I'll just speak for myself. I can't put the ball on the ground. I have to do better than that.
There we go. And so we've got all the tools. The 49ers do. They could do. They're in charge. You know what I mean? And I keep just refreshing over here because I want to know and I want this to go live on the show so that people listening to this know for sure and feel good about it. But the 49ers are the only team that can beat them. You handle your business. You play your way. You stop missing field goals. You stop turning it over. You stop giving up 3rd and 15s. You stop all those things. You blow this team out. That is a legitimate possibility that the Niners win by like 18 points if they play their game. If they play their game. Now, the problem in the past has been we haven't played our game. We haven't called our games. Special teams has been suspect to say the least. Mitch Wisnowski's incredible, but it's never great whenever your best player on the team's a punter. You got to show out. Defensively, I don't expect a lot of scheme changes. I really, really don't. Fewer zero blitzes, the timing, I think that changes, but it was a short week. You're not changing scheme. You might just make it a little more vanilla, which I do expect, and I think that would be good. Just hide your freaking coverages a little bit. Disguise them a little bit. We do it sometimes. We got to do it more often. Yeah, we got to do it more often. So fewer zero blitz. But when we put our corners on islands, and we do all the time, more than almost any team, they're going to hit a few ones. Don't panic. Don't flip out. Don't be the Fire Wilkes crowd. We run cover 3, which means there's no safety help for our corners. That's what we do. That is our bread and butter. That we run quarters, which means there's no safety help outside for our corners. They run fade routes. It's what it is. Now you can do a lot of press man halves, not our bread and butter. We do it some to kind of put those safeties over the top, but you do that, now you're open to running the ball up the middle. Niners' number one priority, stop the run. So I really, really hope Wilkes goes out and shows what he's made of. I love this dude. I love this defense. Yeah, there's some issues, but I'm very happy with the hire, and I don't think that's going to change. I do expect the 49ers shut down the run game. I got Mixon under 48 rush yards, which I bet that one too. Just need the screen game not to kill us. I saw Sonia, I think it was, right here earlier, man. Sonia's the best. Screen passes have been dicing us up the past 2 weeks. That's because we telegraph. We're blitzing. We telegraph it to try to force the quick throw. But if you run a screen, you get behind our numbers, and then we're in trouble. That's what I want to say is, like, stop that. Stop the run game. Stop the overload blitzes, and then we'll be all right. And I'm not too concerned. And I will say this. Bosa gets a sack this week, and so does Eric Armstead. I think those two guys are going to show up. That's what I want to see. Bosa and Armstead get a sack, which is crazy with how low our sacks have been. And yeah, VZ says he read if. Appreciate you, VZ. Thank you, brother. You all good. So it's not the news isn't out yet. I do fully expect that to happen, but it has not happened yet. Offensively, don't care who the quarterback is. I expect Brock Purdy to play. But even if Sam Darnold plays, look, you stick to your damn formula. Run quick reads. Darnold's better one-read quarterback than Purdy is. After the second read, that's where it gets bad. Look, run the ball. See him see the ball in space all the time. I want 5 catches minimum for CMC. Minimum. Last week, he had 3 catches on 3 targets. Every one of them was a positive play. He should have had 7 catches last week. Should have had 7 catches. Probably would have had 80 yards receiving. All would have been for first downs. Throw the damn check down to CMC, please. Just throw it down. Throw it to CMC. Dear God. Jennings led the team in targets last week. I got him getting 6 catches, 85 yards. And so I think that's important. I really, really do. And I want to see that. So let's get to some of y'all's stuff right there that you guys put out there. Protect the ball. I love it. Yeah. Right here, Gregory. Josh says Gregory, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. That would be huge. That would be huge. I would freaking love that so much. We got another one right here. Ed says 32-17, CMC 2 rushing touchdowns, Kittle 1 touchdown, Ayuk. Man, I'd be very happy with that. Be very happy with that. And, maybe we'll get a shut. I don't know. We'll see. A shootout. That'd be fun. I want the defense to kind of step up, but we'll see. So I've got, if Purdy plays, 27-17, 49ers win. If Darnold, 23-21. So a little bit closer game, but I've got Purdy winning, and I'm excited about this. And right here, thank you, VZ. This was the actual Mayoko thing. If all goes as expected, Brock Purdy will receive clearance later today and start tomorrow. I fully expect that to take place, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We will be live from Levi's right after the show. We'll be at the game having a good time. So whether that's a therapy session or whether that's a celebration heading into the bye week, doesn't matter. That's where we'll be. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And until next time, stay strong, faithful.